Anyone in the lower mainland knows about Amanda Todd by now. It'd be shocking if you didn't already, but for anyone who may not know about it, yet somehow managed to reach this video, she was 15 years old, and she committed suicide after posting a video on YouTube using flashcards to tell everyone the story of how she was bullied to the point that she couldn't live anymore. It's a very sad event that has occurred, and Amanda Todd deserves an apology from everyone that bullied her and acknowledgement, but so does every other troubled teen that's still alive. When I wanted to do this video, I knew I wanted to find a bunch of examples of other teens that have committed suicide for whatever reason it was. Most of these are for bullying because they were gay. And it wasn't individual news articles they had, it was all of them put into one. Because apparently 4 to 5 young boys have to kill themselves before they're worthy of a news article. Amanda Todd went and put this video on YouTube, told the world her story, which was a real eye-opener for Canada, and I actually have an article, which I'm going to put in the description. It says, "Video of Amanda Todd has raised awareness around Canada." Excuse me, but there were hundreds of anti-bullying campaign posters around my high school when I was there. Bullying has been a huge deal for whatever reason that you're being bullied or you feel like life is shit. And it takes this girl to put a video on YouTube for everyone to realize, what the hell is wrong with us? One of the first things I noticed in the first article I ever read about Amanda Todd, when I first discovered her, like in the newspaper, it said she was a pretty socially active kind of thing. Basically sounds like a girl that I'm not. That, you know, goes out to school activities and clubs and whatever and gets out there and has fun. Is that what it takes for everyone to open their eyes? Because there's probably ugly people who are bullied for what they are, what they look like. There are people who are not stick figures who are bullied, and there are gays. I'm trying to think of the other word, I can't think of it, but I had a friend who was religious, and he just stated very simply, because of my religion, I don't believe in all this gay marriage kind of thing. And it wasn't like he was hating, it's just that was his religion. He got beat up for that. It took a pretty girl committing suicide for everyone to open their eyes. It doesn't sound like society has made any improvements at all whatsoever. It sounds like we're still in the age where you need to bat your eyelashes and look pretty to get any kind of attention. So maybe if these boys who had hung themselves, all 4 of them 4 or 5 that I wrote down, they all hung themselves. Well, one of them jumped off a bridge. And I can't even talk about each of them individually because they were all put in the same article and hardly given any details about each other. Maybe if they posted videos on YouTube. But no, wait, there are haters out there that post, "Oh, you're gay and you don't deserve any kind of love or attention in the world." Which, mind you, haters, you are giving the attention. It's not good attention, but you're still giving them the attention. And can we please get over if you're gonna insult someone on YouTube in your comments and you think you can hide behind your username, be like, "Oh, you're so gay." Well, sorry, apparently gay is a bad thing now, thanks. Well, actually, it has been. Can we please stop that? I mean, has anyone else seen the commercial with Hilary Duff telling these girls that they should not say that? I should find that on YouTube and put the link in my description as well. So, thank you, Amanda Todd, for raising awareness to the world. Or to Canada, at least. I don't know if the States got this. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But I'm sorry it took you for all of us to open our eyes. I was gonna end the video there, but I realized that sounds bad. I mean, I'm sorry that we couldn't have been more aware, and maybe if someone had found your video and stopped you before you did commit suicide, maybe that would have made a difference. But it's not like we can monitor every video and every Facebook comment or every Twitter feed. I'm taking anthropology in college right now, and we're supposed to do an essay on a news article that talks about this but really means this. And the article I picked was about a government memo telling teachers not to show Amanda Todd's video in class, and maybe talk to students about what this means, what if there's anyone that does need help like this, how, like that kind of thing. They're saying not to do that. And what I'm trying to write about the article is, what the fuck are our parents doing? And from what I gather of what Amanda Todd had to go through, she connected with someone on the internet and did something that he got the video and it went around her school. But why was she doing that in the first place? I cannot imagine meeting someone online, never met them in person, and taking off my shirt or doing anything like that. So I'm sort of wondering, why was she doing that in the first place? Were her parents not teaching her anything about internet safety? And even if you did know the person, you shouldn't be fucking doing that. Because if you look... Oh, wait, you can't. Because Google is covered with Amanda Todd stories. Even if you do minus Amanda Todd, you hardly get any details on other people. But in the States that I've heard from my mother giving me plenty of articles on them, girls who do that and their boyfriends or their friends will spread the videos anyway. So it sucks that it was a sexual predator, from the sounds of it, that spread Amanda Todd's video. But you shouldn't be doing it on the internet in the first place. You should never be recorded doing any of that shit. And the only way to guarantee that that shit doesn't happen is don't do it. Okay, so maybe I'm a little less sympathetic with her, but I mean, the following bullying after that was what led her to what she did. But I have to ask why she did that in the first place. I mean, we all make mistakes. We're human. That happens. But parenting is what stops this kind of stupidity. I know teenagers do... I have done a couple of things, not horrible things, or drinking or anything like that. I'm square. I don't do a lot of bad stuff behind my mother's back. And I know there are plenty of teenagers that love to do that kind of thing because we need to grow up, we need to get out there in the world kind of thing. But parents are supposed to teach us the basic things in our lives that keep us from leading to this. And I don't want to blame Amanda Todd's parents. That'd be the last thing they need. I'm speaking to all parents out there who have children who were exposed to sexual predators online, but I want to know how the kids were even on the internet like that. I mean, my mother restricted me from the internet as long as she possibly could, and then when she finally did, I was very limited. I mean, she hates that I'm on Facebook. Not that I talk to anyone, really. So I'm a poor example because I'm an only child with a single mother. So she's given me all her attention. There are some people out there with like 4 siblings who don't get a lot of attention from their parents, but parents, it's your job to raise your kids. It is your job to be there when their high school lives are shit, because we are just shells of raging hormones when we go through puberty. You're supposed to be there for your children. And to you kids, I'm calling you kids and barely teenagers, because you are not an adult until you learn to raise your own money and move out. Even then you may not be an adult because you're probably immature as fuck. You teenagers, kids, don't hate on your parents. I mean, there are some parents that are awful and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's when you need to find help at a school or a counselor or something like that. But to those of you who do have decent parents, and I know quite a few people who hate their parents even though their parents love them to death, don't you ever accuse your parents of not loving you or trying to help you. And sometimes all it takes is saying, Mom, Dad, or Mom or Dad if you only have one, I'm going through this. Help. Talk to me about it. Don't keep it all balled up. Especially when you have an adult figure, someone who has been through twice as long of life as you have. I'm not sure if I worded that right, but you know what I mean. They've lived twice as long as you have, probably longer. They probably have the experience to tell you what you need to do to get through something difficult. There are parents. They're supposed to. And for those of you who have parents or a parent that you can't talk to, all schools have counselors. There's always a teacher you can talk to. And if you don't have someone in person to talk to, go to kidshelpphone.com or call them. Those sites are there to help us who are going through difficult times and have no one to talk to. In fact, if you are too afraid to, still go on the site and read what other kids have posted. You can't comment because haters would just go crazy on those sites. But read what other people are going through. Don't, and I mean don't, say, oh, that person's complaining about the stupidest little thing. They're just being whiners. Everyone's problems are their own. So it's just like being religious or having a passion for something. To that person, it is their problem and something that is so close to them. Doesn't matter how much they may be over dramatizing it or whatever, but it is theirs. And no matter what it is, they need support. If they are going onto sites that are meant for kids that need help, the smallest thing that you could be saying is stupid is just as big as yours, as your problem. We're all human. You can't judge other people like this. And I'm not a saint. I do it all the time. I can rant all I want about how people are stupid and how we all need to be more understanding for each other, but I do the same thing too. I look at some videos on YouTube about people talk about whatever, and I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, even though it's something they are passionately talking about. I do it too. We all do it. There are very few people out there who can look at somebody and completely understand what they're going through, even if they don't understand it either. Let's be human, people. It's what we are. We've had, 4 billion years of evolution, and this society is what we ended up at. It may sound better than, the feudal era and that kind of thing, but honestly, it doesn't look any much better from my perspective.